Over the years, I have come to really appreciate safety plans because it's this tangible thing. If it's on a piece of paper or a poster board or a screensaver or whatever it is, it's something tangible that's present there so that when you do find yourself in a crisis or you do find yourself struggling with the situation that you struggle with, it enables you to have this tangible thing to refer to. Now, in the gist, safety plan is it's first and foremost, it's just recognizing what triggers you. What things, like if it's PTSD, is it a loud noise? Is it heights? Is it someone's voice? Is it um, you know violent activity? I mean, it could be any number of things. So identifying what your triggers are is key to helping you to avoid circumstances that might trigger you or enable you to give you the opportunity to be prepared for it. Um, and so first and foremost is finding reflecting on what triggers you, and then next is to recognize kind of what the warning signs. What kind of thoughts do you start to notice when you're starting to you know um, move into a bad space or a negative mind space? What kind of emotions do you start to feel? What kind of physical sensations? Like I start to notice myself tense when I'm feeling a little angst, right? And if I can catch myself in that moment when I'm starting to notice myself tense, I can work with relaxation. I'll link the video relaxation to this. I can work with grounding. I'll link that video. Um, and just calming things down could totally reduce the chances of me really getting into a panic attack. um, Also, behaviors. Do you start to pace? Are you starting to be a little bit more agitated and snappy? Right. So just recognizing the warning signs uh, when you're falling apart or when things are getting intense. Like, what do you start to notice? Because if you can start to bring your attention to that, then you can, shift it. You can work on shifting. Not that it's always possible to do that, but it can help, especially when you recognize your triggers and you start to notice these warning signs. That gives you an opportunity to shift things. Um, After recognizing the triggers and the warning signs, it's like, all right, so let's say I've been triggered. I've pushed past that. Now I'm in that space. So, like, what kind of coping skills, what kind of strategies can I do to address this? Right. So now I'm full on caught up in anxiety. My mind is just churning away, or I'm mad at someone for something that someone did. So what kind of things can I do now to help address this? Can I do distractions? So having a list of different distractions. Watching movies, listening to music, dancing, cleaning, going on a walk. Anything that go hanging out with friends. It's not about addressing anything going on. It's just shifting my attention. And once I'm really involved in something else, then the energy and whatever was going on kind of dissipates. If distractions don't work, then okay, what kind of coping skills? Breathing coping skills, grounding, working with some form of therapeutic process like CBT or working with visualization. Like, so okay, so distractions aren't working. What can I do? Talking with someone. Have a list of people that you can talk to, and then connect. Um, let's see what else can. Um, yeah, meditation, exercise is a big one. Uh, Towards like redirecting that energy, like pushing that energy so that it has a place to go instead of just churning away in our minds. having a list of social supports, emergency contacts, a plan. Let's say, you know, you've been thinking about suicide a lot, you know, and at first it was just a thought, and then, you know, there's kind of a feeling, this urge, you start to plan, you're getting to that place where you're starting to consider things, you know, you might be saying, you know, you love, you know, saying goodbye in your own ways or giving things away, like whatever signs that you notice, like it's progressing, you're starting to have a plan, you know, like, oh, maybe maybe I'll take pills or lay in traffic or, you know, whatever method that and you're starting to think about it and the feelings starting to come up. All right, emergency contacts, you know, who are the people that you can really call and you can tell them what's going on, or like, all right, where's the hospital, have that, have know where it is, have the phone number, call 911, call 988, you know, have a plan in place so that if things really get intense, you know, you're going to do that. You know, another thing that's important on the safety plan is like safety measures. So let's say you're really thinking about suicide by overdosing, right? Why don't you, when you're in that space, you haven't quite reached that place where maybe going to the hospital is really what you need. Maybe you're like, all right, this is the method I'm thinking. Give your medication to a loved one so that they can monitor it. If you're thinking about, you know, using a gun, give your gun to someone to take care of while you're in the space. You know, if you're thinking about driving into traffic, you know, give your keys to someone. Like things you can do to reduce, if it's using knives to cut yourself, you know, get rid of your sharps, you know, lock them up, make it harder to access so that you actually have to like think a second before actually going through with it. And then kind of another thing that's really important is what's something worth living for, like, or you know, some major goal, some future orientation, some passion, something that actually invites it, like, you know, I want to live. You know, these are something you maybe in the moment when you're experiencing the suicidal thoughts and the feelings and that energy, it might not necessarily be strong enough to like stop you, but then reflecting on it, you see it on the piece of paper and you see, oh yeah, you know, my family, I can't do that to my wife or my parents or my kid or whatever, you know, your religious beliefs, you know, whatever it is, that's something that kind of anchors you into life and gives you some strength and some positive feeling and energy. So having a list, you know, of things, even, you know, it could be a list of things, but really, if you can really come up with a really solid singular thing, like for my children or you know, because I want to help others, whatever it is, you know, have that down. And so these things, right? You have your triggers, you have your warning signs, your coping skills, your distractions, you have your safety measures, and the thing to live for. All these things you put on a piece of paper or a poster board or a screensaver or something, so that when you do find yourself overwhelmed, you can refer to it and use it as an anchor to help you through the crisis, through what you're struggling